What's up, everybody? And today we're talking about Welcome to Derry, episode 5. We're going full spoilers, so if you haven't seen this episode, go watch it and then come on back. You've been warned. I gotta say, this is the best episode of the season so far for me. I was locked in the entire time. I think the only other one that really captured my attention was probably episode 1, because it was the first one to, so wanted to see what was going on. But yeah, I really think this is the best episode of the season so far. Of course, we finally got our boy Pennywise, but we'll talk about that a little later. So let's start off with what I think are kind of the lower points of this episode. They weren't bad, they just weren't that interesting. So we got was it Hogan, who is it seemed like he got beat up. They put him on the prison bus. They were already saying hey man, last person we sent to Shawshank didn't even make it a week, let alone, saying if you're gonna make it 2 weeks. So like I was saying in the other episode, if you haven't seen that, if it were me and it's be labeled a child killer and I'm not, or just say hey, I was messing around with a white woman, I'll just say I'm messing around with a white woman and take it on the chin, and then whatever happens, just because I feel being labeled a child killer and put in jail, not a way to go. But he almost doesn't even make on the bus. Homeboys, I think it's Phil's probably dad, comes up and almost shoots him, but all the cops stop him right before Hogan can get shot. And then you see in the background the guard who's looking at the dude's wife who's trying to help out, and it turns into Pennywise and has his face and smiles at her, and she's like, what the fuck is that? And then he kind of just disappears, and I think it's just so scary because, again, as someone who's only watched the movies, Pennywise only messes with kids, teenagers at most, but in here he's messing with the adults, so it's bro, he's on some other shit. So yeah, and then fast forward, just sticking with this part of the story, he bus crashed. Hogan has escaped. Where should he possibly go? Oh, I don't know. To the white woman. So he goes to her, and ends up being the doctor from the little asylum place. We kind of see her a little earlier, and it seems like her husband ain't too good of a guy. So it's kind of oh, it's nice that she has a little bit of love, but also the times she's married, nothing seems good. It kind of seems like a dumb move to me for him to go back to this one, but he does it anyways. And then we end up ending the episode, talking is hard, with her going to the wife and being hey, we have a mutual friend, maybe you can help us out. So I mean, that was kind of again, I would do things differently if I were him, but I guess we'll see where his story goes. We'll see, how the white woman is involved, but it was just kind of there for me. The next smaller thing I wanted to talk about was the Native American part of the story. The auntie comes and she's like, Daniel, what did they do to you? What did they know? And he's like, I'm sorry, they went in my brain and they just kind of sifted around and now they know where everything's at. I didn't mean to. And she's pretty cool about it, but she's man, in her native language, she's you know what you gotta do. And even the guard's hey man, it's English around here, you better calm that down. And so, he's forced to go with them. He has the dagger on him. This fool, not to his fault, but he tries to run away, and then instead of running and holding his bag like I would have, he just runs away, and then he drops the dagger, and he's oh, and then now he's on his own in the tunnels, and I think he makes it out, but unless I'm misremembering. But I'm bro, that's the only thing you got against this thing that has been terrorizing the town and your people for years, thousands of years. So it's brother, you should a little more tact, a little more precaution when you're handling the object that you have. Daniel, you idiot. But yeah, so there's that, and then we get into the big crux of the story, taking on young Pennywise. But we'll start off with the kiddos, right? So Marge is in the hospital. Turns out that she didn't rat on Lily, so she's getting better in my book. I still don't like her. She seems chill for now, but once Patty comes around, she starts acting different. So we'll see. But yeah, she's with the group now. It was nice that she didn't give a Lily. She just said like, "Hey, my glass is broken. I was trying to like get them out of my eye until you came to save me." But I mean, the rumors already spread. The nurse was like, "This girl, I don't like her. Call me up if anything happens real quick." And even Lily's like, "Everyone thinks I did this. Like, I've already been sent to the crazy house twice. Now things ain't looking good for me." But they run into Matty at the tower. As soon as Matty popped out and he was like, "Yeah, I was able to make it away," I was like, "Ain't no way that's Matty. That must be Mr. Wise himself." And if it's not, what I was expecting was that Matty somehow made a deal and Pennywise was tricking him. That way he can get all the kids. But as I keep learning with this show, I'm too clever for my own good, and the writing's very straightforward. So, nope, it's just Pennywise. And you can tell because they take all the pills, they start getting all high or whatever. Matty seems to just be normal, which was really weird. In case, for people that didn't know it was Pennywise. And then, of course, they find the dead bodies of all the kids that they thought they were going to come save. And Pennywise does his thing where he's like, doing his little dance around the pole. I did think it was like super cool and creepy that like his transformation started from the back. So you got like the head in the back of the mouth in the back of his head. And then he kind of like twisted into Pennywise. And we finally got our boy. And he's out for good old blood for these kids. It's just sticking with the kids because they're already here. Lily got the plot armor, you know what I'm saying, for her to finally be basically like she should be dead. She should be dead, but she saw the dagger, or he saw the dagger, and he's like, "Whoa, I gotta back away. I'll let you live this time. I don't really like this thing, but you know what I'm saying. I'm still watching. I'm still around," which didn't make sense to me because, from what I understand, and maybe I'm missing something, is that I could have sworn with the Native American story that the dagger was like not working as much, which is why they had to make the cage in the first place. Why they went to go get more pieces is because they're like, he's getting too strong. He's eating the pilgrims. We gotta do something else. So for him to see the dagger enough to like back away and kind of run away, I was like, so this thing is stronger than it looks. So why wouldn't the Native Americans just make a bunch of weapons instead of making a cage? Because this thing clearly has enough power for him. Like, if a little kid is in danger and he just saw it, he didn't even touch it, he just saw it and was like, I gotta get out of here. I'm like, something's not adding up. So I think that's just like a plot hole. Let me know if I'm wrong, but it kind of seems like they could have handled it if they really wanted to. So I didn't like that part. Yeah. So Lily's still alive. She got the dagger now. We'll see if she actually uses it in a good way. Other kids made it out. Of course, Matty was actually Pennywise, so rip. But again, I already saw that coming, so it wasn't really a surprise for me. Then we move on to the military stuff. Any sci-fi supernatural thing, government's like, we can handle this. We got it. We're gonna put him in a cage. Imagine if we used him, instead of our soldiers. How many soldiers we could have saved? How many mothers didn't have to cry over their sons? It's like, brother, you're dealing with a cosmic entity. Like, this thing has been around for forever. Like, and he knows that. He met Pennywise when he was a little kid. Now he's an old man. He's like, I know we got it. It's like, no, you don't. And so they go into the thing, right? They go into the sewers. I thought it was funny how, well, first off, it was crazy. Halloran, hops in the water after everybody, and he actually like starts not drowning, but he like falls into like an ocean essentially. And I thought it was going to be another situation where he's just standing there kind of like mesmerized, and people are like, yo, what's wrong with you? But I think it's even scarier for the other two soldiers behind him to be like, like, the water ain't that deep, like, where the hell did he go? I was like, oh shit. And so Pennywise always messes with your fears, right? So for the remaining two soldiers to see, the Uncle Sam, like, I want you, and to be essentially, I mean, you can kind of insinuate that that's what they're afraid of, is like signing up for the military in the first place. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of, for characters that we don't care about, it's kind of telling to be like, oh, maybe they even want to be here in the first place, but they're dead now. Halloran being in, the little mine place with his grandma. I think last time I said it was like his aunt or his mom. I was wrong. It's his grandma, and she's like, your grandpa's coming. And he's like, it's clearly Pennywise as his grandpa, and he's like, I need you to open the box, man. Open the box. Shoots a grandma. Hey, open the box, man. And he eventually gets to him, and then he opens up the box. You see the glowing light, right? Some people online are like, oh, what's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? And I was like, I feel like it's pretty straightforward because I'm always getting the clips for these videos, and I think it's episode 3 where he first meets Pennywise. You see a bunch of flashes of like some sort of either battle or like all the wars he's been through. You see dead bodies and you hear explosions and bullets and all that, whatever, and the whole scene is like layered in orange. So for me, I am like, okay, well, all of that stuff, from just being in the military, all the horrors that he's seen and probably done, he probably just put it. That's what's in the box, right? Because that's the only other scene that we've been shown that's all orange. So when the box is glowing all orange, I'm like, well, that must be it. I'm sure there's more to it, especially with at the end where he, Pennywise let him go clearly, even though it's not said. And then he sees the other dead soldier, which I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. If you've ever seen the movie Dr. Sleep, it's all connected, everybody. It's all connected. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. There's clearly more to it. But yeah, I think that box is just like it's either just all of the war, like all the stuff that he's seen, or it's that on top of like, okay, he's been through all of this stuff, and he's also seeing like the ghosts of so it's like a double layer. It's like all the trauma I've been through, and then I can't escape the trauma because I'm being haunted by the actual people that I watched die. So I mean, we'll see if that's what it is. That's what I'm putting my money on, but I'm also not a betting man first, because usually when I do a bet in my head, I end up being wrong. And then of course, sticking with the military stuff, right? You got the dad, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna move my family to the base, as if that's really gonna matter. And it doesn't, because even the son runs away to go be with his friends, and he almost gets shot by his father in the tunnels. I kind of wish, right? So he accidentally shoots his friend. His friend dies because his friend is the one that realizes, oh, it's real. Like you're gonna shoot your son. I kind of wish that he didn't die, and that it was that he just kind of like pushed the gun out the way, and that the father, instead of having to deal with the fact of like, oh, I killed my friend, which is still like trauma, I wish it was more of the fact of like, I almost shot my son, and this thing is so powerful in the way that it controls your fears that now I'm like questioning what what is reality right now, to the fact that like he has to live with the guilt of like, damn, I almost killed my child. Like, I wish that was the thing that he had to contend with, of like, I almost killed my child because this thing can just like get in your head so bad that you don't know what to do with it. I personally, I find that more interesting. Let me know if you would think that was more interesting, or if you think the friend being dead is the more interesting part. I know it's connected to Halloran, but again, I wish it was just that like, damn, I almost blasted my son's face off. Sticking with the husband, I've been saying in the last couple episodes that like nothing has made me jump in this show. Like, everything's scary, of course, like if you're in the moment, or in the moment, like if you were the character, right, I'd be losing my marbles. But as a viewer, I'm not scared. When the wife, or Pennywise pretending to be the wife, and she's in the shadow, and she like kind of does a little twitchy thing, and then she's like jumps at the camera, that was like the first time I was like, and I was like, oh, okay, they got me. But yeah, so that's the only time that it's happened so far. So I'm hoping there are more moments like that. I know some people watch scary stuff and they don't want to be all scared, but I'm also like, if I'm gonna watch something scary, I kind of do want a little moments where I'm like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like a little hold my breath, I'm scared. But yeah, I think that's it, right? So I think I covered everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, like pretty much overall. I really don't have too many notes about what could have been changed. Oh, real quick before I forget, because we were bringing this up on TikTok, and I thought it was hilarious, is when all the kids are about to go out. And they're like, she's like, are you going to be an anchor or a lifeboat? And they're like, lifeboat, lifeboat. And then it goes to Matty, and he's like, but people are like making the joke that it's like Pennywise, and he's like, this shit is so corny, I'm about to laugh. And he's like, I can't let them know, not yet, that it's me. But yeah, I thought that shit was corny too. I was like, anchor and lifeboat. I was like, oh my god, you kids aren't that brave. You're not about it like that. Okay, but this is where I'll leave the episode. I never watched the previews for the next episode, so this Sunday, episode 6, I have no idea what we're in for. I am interested to see where this is going, how Lily is going to use the dagger, and hopefully, like, start getting some of their licks back, you know what I'm talking about? But in terms of that, yeah, everything else is just a mystery, so I'm along for the ride. Also, I didn't read all the books and stuff. Like, I'm always seeing videos of like, oh, this is connected to that, this is connected to that. So again, I'm going in straight blind, just watching this as a TV show on its own. And yeah, I'm having a good time. I will leave it at that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't know why I did this. I'm not at that part yet. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, a smile is something special, and a river is something, or what? Is something rare? I already fucked up. Peace.
A smile is something special, a ribbon is something rare.